Benjamin Franklin once said, "You may delay, but time will not." Welcome to McBain Moments. All right, you know the drill. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. So, you may delay, but time doesn't. And this really focuses in on the most precious resource we all have. And that resource is time. It's the one thing you can't get back. Period. Dot. You know, if you lose money, you can make more money. If something breaks, you can usually replace it. You can rebuild relationships if you screw them up. But every second that ticks away, and actually, wrong way for you guys. Every second that ticks away will never come back. Every second that ticks away will never come back. No matter what else you do, you can never replace time. So what do you do about that? Well, there's a few things you do. The first thing you can do is decide what is important to you and focus your time on that. But when you're prioritizing this, you got to keep in mind some things. One, use the hierarchy of needs to start off, because your game might be the most important thing to you, except if you don't have a roof over your head, it becomes far less important to you. So what things need to be important to you? Your job, your home, food, your children if you have them, your significant other if you have one, other family, either blood or chosen, the things you are doing to build your life. And those aren't in any particular order. However you decide to prioritize them is entirely up to you. And even if you want to prioritize them a certain way, your brain will prioritize them for you. But you have to split your time among these things. And oftentimes, the thing you dump the most time into is the one you really wish you didn't have to. That's your job. And that's why after your job, you need to take the time to build the thing that will make it so you don't have to spend so much time at your job. See how that works? Now, the funny thing is that for a lot of people, they're never going to get very far in it. And there are a number of reasons for this: drive, ability, circumstance. More often than not, a lack of consistency. Or occasionally, shit just happens. It does. But if you're patient and you learn the right skills, learn how to husband your resources appropriately, you can build up that thing you want to build to make it so you don't have to pour so much time into the job. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. It could take you 30 years to do that. Most people, it takes them 40 to 50. Because you generally work between the ages of 16 and 65. For my generation, it's going to be 16 and 67. I personally will probably, unless medical does not allow me to, I'll work until I die. And that's because I choose to live like that. That's what I choose to do. Does that mean it's going to be at the mundane day job? Not necessarily. I'm building things up. I'm reducing liabilities. I'm increasing assets. I'm building this channel. But it is going to take time. So figure out what you want to pour your time into so that you have the most fulfilling life. And think about this. Time sacrificed now will have an exponential return on time invested later. So if you sacrifice time, you work a lot of overtime, you put in the hours, you show you're productive, you're going to get those promotions. You're going to get those raises. You pour those into something that builds for you. And it can be a side business or an investment or what have you. We're not even going to get into that. Just something that you're building for yourself and your family. And if you sacrifice, like if between 20 and 30, you work 50, 60 hours a week, and you pour all of the extra you have into some sort of project, whether it's an investment or a business or anything, and you carefully husband those resources, by the time you're 30, you may not need to work so hard. Maybe you can pare down to a normal 40-hour work week. Maybe it's only 45, because you've got that thing that's building, pushing the other side, pushing you up that hill. By the time you're 50, maybe you don't need a day job. All of your efforts in that side, what used to be your side hustle, your side project. By the time you're 65, you don't have to do anything anymore. You'll want to, because you'll have built that habit up. Even when you say you don't want to, you'll sit down, you'll be like, okay, I'm bored, I've got to do something. That's why I do what I do. Time is our most precious resource. Spend your time wisely. Sacrifice your time judiciously to give yourself more time later. This has been a McBain moment.